Okay, Wednesday lunchtime. Good enough time to talk about some cyber threats. And hey, Lonnie, I want to welcome you from Boise, Idaho, to help me unpack this issue. It's a little hairy.
Oh, not a problem, Joey. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Okay, let me just launch on this thing. I sent you the article, and this is the best I'm able to take it apart. It looks like another freedom threat. This one of the high-tech variety. President Obama is adding in another czar. He's got a lot of czars, more than any other president, and now here's another one. By the way, I wonder if they know that the czars met a very untimely, the last czar of Russia met a very untimely and ugly end, but maybe they, maybe they don't think about that. Anyway, the new czar is going to be a cybersecurity czar, an internet czar, charged with keeping government and private networks safe from hacking and sabotage, and to conduct counterterrorism operations. The new czar will supposedly have oversight responsibility to National Security Agency's operation, and will have a mandate to preserve civil liberties, including privacy, and be reporting to the President's Economic Council, which seems good, to ensure that the policies do not inhibit economic growth.
Right.
Seems all good, but I think there's a couple wrong elements in that. One, it's redundant bureaucracy to some extent. The FCC already has this responsibility. Two,
I totally agree there.
Yeah. Two, the czars are being appointed to enact regulatory powers outside of congressional oversight. The czars in general are. So they increase the executive branch's power over individuals without the use of law. For example, currently the public's not aware fully of what the NSA's role in security of the private networks is, so we don't know the degree to which privacy is compromised by the NSA in counterterrorism. And the expansion of the scope of the White House of the NSC, their National Security Council within the administration, only increases the likelihood that the government checks and balances are going to be bypassed to expand the government's evasion of constitutional protections on privacy. That it would increase regulatory interference in economic activity. So I'm asking Lonnie Holcomb, a libertarian with insight into these things. It looks like there's a lot of potholes in this whole information highway kind of regulation. What do you think? How does it play? Private versus defense. Goals that this czar seems to have.
They're intertwined at this point, and they really are, because you got to remember, as much as certain folks in Europe will claim that they created the internet, you got to remember that when the internet was first created, 85% of the internet was what they called DARPANET, which is a Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency network, an experimental network that basically became the backbone for the internet itself. It was just folded into it when they kind of converted it over in the early 90s. And what happens is that there are shortcomings with security on the network. Everybody knows that, and anyone who works in the trade, and they know how to. Most people know how to kind of fix those problems. The fact that it's getting more oversight at the executive branch is, in a way, actually probably a good thing in some ways, but it's also a bad thing, because considering the fact that the present administration is basically not only taking the previous administration's fact on national security and the exclusion of national secrets from being basically reviewed the way they have here recently in certain court cases, especially one against the EFF, Electronic Freedom Foundation, which is covering over the illegal wiretaps program that they've been fighting the Bush administration. This present administration is basically taking a position even more draconian than the previous administrations. A lot of people don't know that. And it's one of those situations where, actually we do need to have a central locus on this with something, with some sort of executive branch oversight on this and interface with them. But the fact is there's already that system in place with the FCC. I look at this and I'm seeing it more as just more of a dog and pony show, a kind of, how can I say this? It's more of they're just trying to make it look like they're doing something, and this is more of a make-work kind of job, if you will. While this person may actually have some authority, the reality of it is almost all of your cybersecurity stuff, it's going to be happening down in the trenches at private and government information networks all around the country, and in fact all around the world. So
Wow.
I understand why they did it, and I agree that they do need to have some, but the way they're doing it this time just sounds more like just more like a nice show, just eye candy.
Well, I guess that would be the good news. If it is just a dog and pony, that would be maybe the best thing we could look forward to from just not too much meddling and not too much. The thing that scared me when you said that now this administration's actually worse overall than Bush, who's put in the Patriot Act, and now I would have thought that Obama's ideology and the way he's been kind of trying to open up certain, especially defense tactics as regards torture, et cetera, and also those kind of that whole memo gate. Wouldn't you think he'd be wanting to scale back that Patriot Act? I thought that was the direction they might be going. I guess not, huh?
I don't know. Actually, I haven't heard anybody talk really seriously about the Patriot Act in almost a year and a half anywhere inside the Beltway. At least I haven't seen anything. I think it's one of those things they're just kind of like holding their breath on and hoping that we'll forget about it and it'll go away, and then after a while we'll just have to accept it as law because we've not complained about it enough, or worked to get it repealed. So that's one of those things that we have to remember also as libertarians. They just if we stonewall us long enough, they think they can get us to forget about it and it'll go away. And also it'll give them other things that we can that they can get our attention with, like certain countries around the world that they like to kind of like call part of the axis of evil, if you will, and draw our attention away from things like that as well. So it's stuff like that you have to observe and watch, and you still have to keep up the pressure on to repeal things like the Patriot Act and be honest and be truthful with us, because if they don't, they'll never change. They'll never change their ways. So unfortunately, that's just the way it is.